Hello and welcome to the demonstration of the Odoo Shopify Connector powered by Ksolves. Here we will see the process of the installation of the app, creating and configuration of the instances, and all the fundamental features that are being provided in the Shopify Connector. Now, before installing the Odoo Shopify Connector, we need to install the Odoo Base Connector app. The Shopify Connector app is dependent on the Base Connector. Here you can see the Odoo Base Connector app, and to install it, you simply have to click on the install button. Once the application is installed, now we have to install the Odoo Shopify connector. For that, again we have to go to this grid icon, go back to apps, and here we'll search for the Odoo Shopify connector application, which is right here, and follow the similar process to install this as well. As we know, the Shopify is a commerce company that allows the clients to set up an online store and sell their products. It is designed for businesses of all sizes, whether you want to sell online or you want to sell on social media or in a store or out of the trunk of a car. Shopify supports businesses of all sizes. Odoo Shopify Connector is a must have for all the Shopify sellers who are using Odoo as their backend ERP. Our connector provides a means to connect the Shopify stores and sync the bidirectional data as per the seller's requirement. This would prevent the seller to perform similar set of operations which are related to the ERP on both platforms. Now, once the Odoo Shopify connector is installed, we need to make the Shopify menu visible over this menu dropdown. For that, we have to move to Settings. Here in the Users and Company, we'll choose the option of Users and we'll change the administration settings. When we scroll down, we see the option of Shopify access over here, which means the administrator has to be given the Shopify access. Now for that, we have to edit this form and provide the full access for Shopify and save this form. Once the form is saved, we simply have to refresh our page. And now we can see the Shopify connector is appearing in the drop down menu. Clicking on the menu, we can see the dashboard of the Shopify connector. Now this is the Shopify dashboard. At the first glance, you can see this line chart which represents the count of the products, collections, coupons, customers or orders that have been synced using the Shopify instance every day. So this will indicate every day's data. This can also be switched into a bar chart as per the requirement of a client. Now, moving on to the left panel, we can see all these various styles which shows 0 at the moment, but later when the syncing using the instance would begin, then the count would represent the number of products, variants, collections or customers that have been synced using the Shopify instance. Moving to the top, we can see the menus which we'll cover in the later videos. Now, specifying on what Shopify instance is. A Shopify instance is equivalent to a Shopify store that is owned by any seller. How can we create an instance is a process that we'll follow next. After installing the Shopify connector app, the first task that we have to do is to connect the Shopify connector to the Shopify store. Now for that, the process of instance creation comes into action. For creating an instance, either you can go to the top menu named instance or you can go to the Shopify instance type. Both will lead you to a page like so where we can create and configure the instance. Clicking on the create button, we will get a page like so. Here we have to enter the name that I want to give for my instance, also the store URL, customer key and customer password along with shared secret of my Shopify store. Now as you can see, I have provided my instance with the name called a test instance and I have filled all the required details. Now I simply have to save and connect my instance to the Shopify store. This will show me a pop-up saying connection is successful. Once the connection is successful, I'll get a yellow banner like this, which will indicate that my instance is connected. Now, after the instance is connected, we need to activate the instance. But before activating the instance, we need to fill up a few mandatory fields without which the instance would not be activated. Let's have a look on the mandatory fields which we have to fill before activating the instance. In the product information, we have the stock field type, which is mandatory to be filled. In the order information, we have the warehouse, the sales team, the salesperson as the mandatory fields which are to be filled. And once these mandatory informations are filled, we can simply save and activate our instance. We will get a pop-up like so, and closing this pop-up, we'll be seeing that my instances is activated now. Also, we can check the state of our instance has moved to active, which means that the instance is now activated and ready to sync any kind of data to and from Shopify.